communication satellites, the internet, cellular phones, and round-the-clock news on television, the world has really become an electronic global village. Let's take a moment and allow beautiful Sweden to take us on a different kind of voyage, discovering that beauty which is everlasting, those special people who resonate with the passion of their art and culture. Beauty, Sweden. Beauty of the world. Interesting, stimulating, special people of Sweden. An opera singer with a mission. The royal gardener and his new concept. A world-famous concert pianist and his protege. And the artists and master glassblowers of Orrefors and Kosterboda. What is beauty? What does beauty mean to them? Millions of years ago, a meteor struck Sweden, leaving an enormous crater of limestone. After years of mining the limestone, the water rose up, creating a jade-green lake. The quarry was abandoned. Former opera star Margareta Delafosse visited the site and in one inspired moment envisioned a concert hall.
I knew that this was meant to be a festival place, and of course for opera, because the natural acoustics is so unusual. I got hold of those 5 most important men in the community, and I started to sing for them.
Here?
Yes, here. They looked very, very shy. They were a bit rose in their cheeks. They had never been seen such a funny female. We had a sort of, a sitting, actually, and I said, well, they looked so doubtful. I said, well, just listen, and I went away and I started to sing.
Brava! Brava!
And then I managed to get the most important music people in Sweden to come here. It took off. Well, the first opera you think of when you see this place is actually Valhall and the Ring by Wagner.
When Wagner is performed during the Swedish twilight, Dalhalla becomes Valhalla, and the mystery of the northern soul reveals itself. Stockholm, the Royal Opera House, where we thrilled to a rehearsal of the Royal Swedish Ballet. This world-acclaimed company was created 225 years ago by King Gustav III. This jazzy interlude is Frankie and Johnny.
A lot of beauty in just the art form that I'm representing, because we are on a constant hunt for beauty. It is the art form that is having the Terpsichore as the goddess. That is what we really would like to express and expose the beauty on stage. Also in the lines, not only in the face or in the body, but in the lines of how we are being presented on stage, that everything is beautiful.
Well, it's a scene where I actually enter to really seduce Rudolph, actually to get him on the hook.
Beyond is an archipelago of over 30,000 satellite islands. We charted our course in search of beauty. The first steps in the journey were taken through Gamiastan, the old town. Originally a thriving medieval town, it was dominated by German merchants. In 1521, it became the country's capital. Walking through the crooked streets, we surveyed the details of centuries past. Graduating from high school is always an exciting day for everyone. In Sweden, this rite of passage is celebrated in traditional and in idiosyncratic ways. A day of mixed emotions, the pain of loss mixed with the glow of pride. Imaginatively decorated trucks, jeeps, and anything that moves on four wheels carries the students home, partying as they go. Drottningham, the official residence of the royal family, is just a few kilometers from Stockholm. This 200-room palace was completed in 1681. Ah, if the walls could talk. And the fountains of Drottningham rival the beauty of Versailles. Millesgarden, one of the most popular museums, is a favorite retreat of the people of Stockholm. It houses medieval and Renaissance art, as well as a unique collection of sculpture.
When I created these three, for instance, I started with this one. The way color reflects light.
I like the way glass absorbs light.
Glass blowers, that's I'll just take some from anyone. I think this is what is so wonderful about the abstract art. Still we can agree on that it's very beautiful, but that's easy. Yeah.
Founded in 1898, the Orrefors Glassworks is still making glass and crystal by hand.
It's amazing, how sensitive we are to each other's faces. And even though they have the same shape, they convey different moods, different personalities.
I like the way glass absorbs light, or becomes like a skin that is containing something.
Fire, when I work in the hot shop with a molten lava that glass is, and then when it comes out from the annealer, it turns into ice.
I mean, they're trapped forever in this glass.
Yeah, there is no way to get them out of there.
Erica has a special gift for color. She uses it to enhance the shape of glass.
Because this piece is cut on this flat side, and it's one step. And I call this object, it orbit. And there's a deep depth here too, but not so much.
It's like being on an emotional roller coaster.
This is the beauty of abstract art, that I can have an idea, I can tell you what I was thinking, but then you don't have to care. You can put whatever you want into it, and it can tell you a different story because it's abstract. And I think this is what is so wonderful about the abstract art.
I very often use mistake in the art show. That you are a wide angle, that you have one idea and suddenly something happens. And then I thought, oh, this is better. I use this. And that's how squeeze. And one of my favorites in the hot shop, Jocke, is very lively and he talked much. And suddenly we made a glass drop and it started to melt. And I said to him, no, I said, this is great. Continue. And then out came. Yeah, and it came out like with a very elegant melting look. And then I thought, how to use this look in a regular production. And then I figure out to do a special wooden tool, so you squeeze it. You see, you can squeeze like this and like this in two directions. So every ways are unique in a sense. So I wanted, to have in the production a unique feeling. And then I suddenly found out, oh, this is so good because you can see it's.
Oh, it's magnificent.
Oh, it would put the flowers in the right
so it
spot.
holds the flowers
Yes.
better.
It's amazing. I love it. It's the most relaxing. Zen.
In a way. Yeah.
These two plates have a kind of mystery that I've never seen. They're almost Aztec gods in their impression.
Yes, and the name is the King of the Wind and the King of the Sea.
King of the Wind, and there's the King of the Sea. And it's magnificent, and he has a kind of jolliness almost, but enormous power.
Yeah, I hope so. That was at least my intention, We have the butterfly coming.
Wow.
Very slowly.
Yes. Wonderful. The Swedes have traveled for centuries, and Swedish beauty has traveled with them. Today in New York City, as the Swedish Consul General Dag Sebastian Arlander and his wife Gunilla prepare for a dinner party, the conversation turns to childhood memories.
I was born in Uppsala, and old Uppsala was close by, and it had a very strong attraction because, as you might know, you have the graves of the oldest kings of Sweden there, enormous mounds, and next to them you have an inn where you can drink Viking mead and in big horns. All this was to the young boy something very fascinating. And when my father told me there used to be a temple for Odin, Thor and Frey, and that the oaks surrounding the church and that temple were full of bodies of sacrificed animals and even human beings, it somewhat chilled my bone. But then we went in and I got hot chocolate. My father had Viking meats. That was a wonderful end of that day. But really, the place is large with mythology. It's strong, it's potent.
World-class master chef and co-owner of Aquavit restaurant in New York, Marcus Samuelsson, was born in Ethiopia. Brought up in Sweden and taught to cook by a Swedish grandmother, we tagged along as he went to Chinatown looking for exotic ingredients.
Swedish cooking, there are a lot of spices and ingredients that one would think are not typical Swedish. We use a lot of cloves, a lot of cinnamon, a lot of cardamom. And that comes from the trading market when the Swedish sailors went to India and Bangkok and did business. Look at the cilantro, for example. It might not look nice, but you can smell, you just break that, and you can smell how great, what great flavor it has. And I really wish you could smell this. Having a thought in my head, developing it with my staff and my co-workers, giving it to others, and the whole package with the wine, with the food, with the decor, with the plates, it comes together and you blow people away. You create a wow.
Fashion is beauty, and beauty is fashion. This gorgeous collection of Swedish designer Kent Anderson is making its mark on the New York scene. Here we are at Valdemarsudde, one of the art museums in Stockholm. It was originally the home of Prince Eugene, also known as the Red Prince. That was because of his support of the revolutionary French Impressionist artists and because of his own support of the popular causes of the left. Prince Eugene was a great painter in his own right. His own pictures had the same vivacity and life that the Impressionists of France had. The world's oldest restored warship, Vasa, is on exhibit on the island of Djurgården. She capsized on her maiden voyage in 1628 and was salvaged from the bottom of the sea 330 years later. Tonight, the Romeo and Juliet Choir are giving a performance of medieval chants in the shadow of Vasa. On a rainy afternoon, we had a sunny discussion with Lars Krantz at the Rosendal Palace Gardens. Lars, who is the official royal gardener of Sweden, came up with the innovative idea of having architects, artists, and everyday citizens design the public gardens. He petitioned the royal family for their approval, and fortunately they gave it.
We want to inspire people. We want to give people ideas how they can go home and transform these ideas that they get here in their own home or in their own lives, so to speak. Because as a gardener, you are not growing plants really, you are growing a room where the plants can live. So you make the climate, the local climate, you make it a little bit milder, you make the soil better. And out of that, it could be possible that each person makes his own school, how to live, so to speak, and not only to listen to others how you should live, but I want to live in this specific way. And that is much more than to be related just with your head and your thought. You have to be related with your heart, and so that your hands gets warm.
Driving across several bridges to another part of Stockholm, we visited with Stefan Scheer, one of the world's greatest concert pianists. A composition by the Swedish composer William Stenheimer.
Quite a famous piece of William Stenhammar that most pianists here in Sweden we like to play. Dark and the rich harmonies. And of course this is very Scandinavian, for me at least. So he mixes a very lyrical Nordic sound with this more heavy German attitude.
Stefan Scheer's talented protege Magnus Svensson played this selection called The Birds. We arrived at Countess Marika Wachtmeister's medieval castle, Vanos. Countess Wachtmeister has made a unique contribution to the people of Sweden by opening her estate to the public. She invited sculptors from around the world to create specific works.
I think the artists as a profession always have been close to beauty, who have always to look for beauty, to enhance beauty. There is always an ingredient of beauty in what the artists do. I noticed that they will send me like a picture of their child saying she took her first step at Vanos, or we had a really nice conversation that was meant something to us. And I think a lot of us need to be lifted out of our sort of usual environments, to relax, to meet each other.
Det blir sommar får jag svar, lilla kära du. Ty då ska jag spörja blommorna de 7. Midsommarnatten plockar jag klöver och timotej, karibacka och ängsull och blyga förgätmigej. Lägger dem under kudden och sen drömmer jag om dig, och då vet jag att du älskar blott mig.
For Swedes of all ages, Midsummer's Eve is a big event. It celebrates the longest day of the year. All over Sweden, families come together. The traditional, newly decorated maypole is lifted to the sky with much effort. The dance begins. We just happened to come across this class of young students in Old Town, where the spirit of Midsummer's Eve was heralded in song.
Andra så roliga saker
This program has been made possible by a grant from Orifice Kostoboda, makers of Swedish glassware, the Swedish Information Service, and the Swedish Institute. Produced in cooperation with Prairie Public Broadcasting. To order a video, call 1-800-359-6900. That is 1-800-359-6900. Or visit our website, worldbeauty.tv. That is worldbeauty.tv.